All right, hey guys, so it's been a while since I've made a new video, but I decided I wanted to go over the Humble Choice. This came out yesterday. It's basically the replacement of the Humble Monthly. And before I begin, I just want to mention that I am partnered with Humble Bundle, so keep that in mind. And if you guys want to help support me in this channel, there will be referral links in the description below. If you do decide to subscribe to the Humble Choice, I encourage you to use my referral link. So before I get into it, I just want to mention there has been some great games being released on Steam lately. Red Dead Redemption 2 just came out on PC, which is fantastic in my opinion. Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order is amazing. It was made by Respawn Entertainment, same people that made Titanfall, I believe. So there isn't any like microtransactions or any like DLC or anything like that. It's all up front, and it's a fantastic game overall. It kind of reminds me a little bit of like Tomb Raider in the sense that you do go through these various tombs, and there's quite a bit of puzzles and platforming. But overall, I think the game is fantastic, and I think you should check out Star Wars. And then Halo, the Master Chief Collection, Halo Reach just came out on PC. Very fun, especially if you're nostalgic towards the series. So now let's talk a little bit about the Humble Choice, which is essentially the replacement of the Humble Monthly. The biggest change here is instead of getting like a random loot crate of games each month, now they're revealing all of the games at the start of each month on each Friday. So for example, for this month, these are the 10 games that are revealed, and I can automatically redeem and start playing all of these 10 games here. The other big change is the pricing. They made it a lot more expensive. So if you're already subscribed to the Humble Monthly, you can continue paying your normal like $12 a month, or if you're on the yearly plan, I think it's like $11 a month. But as you can see here, there's some big changes. So there is the light plan where you basically get nothing and you pay $5 a month. You get like 10% off the Humble store and access to the Humble Trove, but it's basically nothing for $5 a month. And then there's the basic plan. Basic plan is $15 a month, and it lets you pick 3 games from the Humble Choice. So if you scroll back up here, you basically are able to pick 3. So you can pick any of the 3 that you like. Most likely you're going to pick like the big game that would be the early unlock, which is like Tomb Raider, Shadow of the Tomb Raider, and a couple others, whatever you enjoy. So for some people, this might be a bonus. But at the same time, the Humble Monthly used to be $12 a month. So you're paying more for less, which it doesn't really make a whole lot of sense. But if you're not currently subscribed, $15 a month, I mean, there's still some great games here. Shadow of the Tomb Raider for $15 plus 2 other games. I mean, I guess it's worth it. And then the other plan is the premium plan for $20 a month. You can pick 9 games, which is kind of strange. So basically, the premium plan, you can pick 9 out of the 10 games. If you are a original Humble Monthly subscriber and you're still subscribed, you're able to pick 10 games. So even at the premium tier, you are missing out on 1 game if you're not currently a Humble Monthly subscriber. So, I mean, at least at the beginning here, I feel like if you weren't already subscribed to the Humble Monthly, you're kind of at a loss, but you're still going to be getting some great games. And the yearly plan is cheaper. I think the premium plan is like $15 a month if you pay for the yearly, and the basic plan it's like $11.25, I believe. So if you are planning on subscribing to the basic or premium plan, be sure to use my referral link in the description below. It'll help me out quite a bit. But otherwise, I can completely understand if you're not interested. Especially considering the jump in price. I guess, I mean, if you really wanted some of the premium games, I mean, $15 is good. Pay extra $5 and you basically get mostly everything. And people who are currently subscribed to the Humble Monthly, I encourage you to stay subscribed as long as possible, especially if you enjoy the games that you have been receiving through the Humble Monthly. So I don't know what to think of this. I mean, overall, it's bad because the prices have increased. I feel like this basic plan should be less expensive. I think it should be like $10 a month, and then you just pick like the 3 games you enjoy the most. That might be a little bit more reasonable, maybe even cheaper than that. But this is how they're doing it. I don't even know why there's a light plan. That seems kind of ridiculous. But that's pretty much the change to the Humble Monthly. All right, so now I want to go over the games for the Humble Choice, and also I wanted to go over the reveals for last month's Humble Monthly. The value went down quite a bit compared to the previous month, and the reveals, in my opinion, weren't that exciting. Honestly, nothing really stands out here. Besides the early unlocks, you get Fluffy Horde, Chasm, regular human basketball, and Sword Legacy. So some of these games have kind of mixed reviews, and I don't know. Nothing really is that exciting, at least in my opinion. The early unlocks, on the other hand, Soul Calibur 6, fantastic game. They're definitely worth it in terms of value, especially if you're into fighting games. I think it's a fantastic fighting game. And then Yakuza Kiwami, that's another great game, especially if you're into the Yakuza series. And then a lot of people enjoy My Time at Portia. But I don't think there's really a whole lot of point going over the other game. Okay, so now to go over the Humble Choice games for December. The first one, which I think everyone's going to be picking up, is Shadow of the Tomb Raider. This is a third-person adventure game with some fantastic graphics, great gameplay, and honestly one of my favorite series of all time. I played through all 3 of the new installments, and each one is spectacular. If you enjoy like platforming, puzzles, and like third-person combat and a little bit of survival as well, Tomb Raider is excellent. Next game is called Blasphemous. This is a highly rated action platformer with sort of like a religious horror-esque aesthetic, very pleasing visuals, and very challenging gameplay. This is great for Metroidvania fans. Next game is Ancestors Legacy. This is a medieval real-time strategy game. I absolutely love games set in this time period. Very large-scale battles similar to the Total War series, but much deeper in terms of strategic gameplay. I think it's awesome, and it's definitely worth trying out. Next game is Phantom Doctrine. This is a turn-based tactical game similar to the XCOM series with a very large 40-hour long campaign. It mainly focuses on like strategic positioning and movement in a Cold War setting. And then we have Dead in Vinland. This is a survival management game with some RPG elements set in a like medieval fantasy world. It's very challenging, and there's a lot of choices and decisions to make, so it's something to try out. Then we have Horizon Chase Turbo, which is an incredibly highly rated arcade racing game with overwhelmingly positive reviews. I think it's upwards of like 95% positive, which is pretty crazy. It's similar to racing games you play in arcades or games you used to play in the past. It kind of takes you back to your childhood, a little bit of nostalgia here. It has a fantastic soundtrack, and honestly, it's super fun to play as well, so I highly encourage you guys to check that one out. Next, we have Dark Future Blood Red States, which is a vehicular combat game with some tactical elements. It's a bit of a mixed bag here. It has sort of a unique approach, giving you the ability to slow down and make critical decisions. Some people like it, some people don't, but it's an interesting game. Then we have Desert Child, which is a lesser known indie game. It mainly focuses on some fun side-scrolling action racing with a unique art style. It's definitely fun for a short while, but not too much after that. And then we have Aegis Defenders. This is a 2D mix of action combat and tower defense elements with, again, another great aesthetic style, although some consider the game to be a bit too stressful at times and a bit repetitive as you go into it, but it's an interesting and unique game for sure. Finally, we have X-Morph Defense, which I highly recommend, especially to those who enjoy twin-stick shooters and tower defense games. In this game, you play as the aliens invading Earth, and you must defend yourself against the onslaught of human attacks. It really is a lot of fun, and it's a very well-developed game. So again, if you enjoy twin-stick shooters or tower defense, I highly recommend X-Morph Defense. It will blow you away. And then finally, I did want to mention that the Yogscast Jingle Jam bundle is currently going on. This is a bundle that happens every year in December. It supports charity. You pay $30, and then every day in December up until the 20th, there's more games that are added to the bundle. So it's a great deal, especially if you don't have any of these games. There's a ton of indie games, and there's a bunch of good games thrown into the mix as well. But all of them are basically hidden, and each day new games are revealed. So it's kind of an interesting, like, kind of surprise each day. It can be kind of fun, especially if you don't own a lot of games on Steam. It's certainly worthwhile. At the the top here, you can see some good games like Kingdom New Lands, Bastion, Rapture Rejects. They also have like Crusader Kings, Chivalry, Red Orchestra, and going on, you can see just a bunch of different games of all sorts of different variety. They're mostly indie games though, so keep that in mind. But yeah, if you want to support charity and you want a little surprise each day, the Jingle Jam bundle is definitely worthwhile. In the past, they had limited amount of keys for certain games. As you can see here, Bastion, there's only 30,000 keys remaining. So if there's 30,000 people that subscribe to this bundle, then it'll run out, and then anyone who subscribes after that won't be able to get the game. It's also shown here for Guilty Gear, so just keep that in mind. Some games are kind of limited in availability. So that's it for the Humble Bundle. Let me know what you guys think of the changes from the Humble Monthly to the Humble Choice. I don't really know how to feel about it. I mean, overall, it's a bad thing because it kind of forces us to stay subscribed to the monthly like forever in order to get all 10 unlocks. And if you decide to not subscribe for just like 1 month, you're going to have to pay even more to get the premium or the basic tier. And I honestly think it's kind of expensive. I don't know too many people that are going to pay $15 for just 3 games. But if you're just wanting like a couple of the games, it might be worthwhile. I think they sort of need to change their pricing style. And I honestly like the I always liked the surprise each month, not knowing what you were going to get. Originally with the Humble Monthly, there was only 1 game reveal, and then the rest of the bundle was a surprise, which I enjoyed, but I guess they weren't making enough money from that. So this is a way that they can, I guess, profit a little bit more. So that's it for this video. Thanks for watching and have a nice day.